Let me tell you this. The older you do get, the more rules are gonna try to get you to follow. You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
G'day, how you going? Did you know that your children were born anarchists? It's true. Every child who's ever been born has been born an anarchist. The really bizarre thing is that parents and society have done everything they can to threaten, intimidate, beat, punish. Geez, there's so many different methods that society and parents in general use to stop their kids from being anarchists. Now, that's quite a concerning sort of thing, because, you know, we as parents love our children, but, you know, there are a lot of parents out there who were brought up with less than ideal parenting themselves. Okay, so one method of dealing with the child anarchist is threats. Okay, if you do this, you're gonna suffer X, whatever that very thing might be. No TV or whatever. It can be verbal, you know, screeching and hollering. We've all seen the mums in the shopping centres who are just carrying on like absolute retards, screaming and swearing and threatening, and then it cuts me really deep when I see a parent smack a kid. That's a dog act right there. That's so low. And that's the parents failing. Okay, it's not the kid that's the problem, it's the parent. Alright, the kid, you've got to think, kids don't know anything when they're born, and they do learn quite quickly as they grow, which is a beautiful process to see. I mean, if you don't have kids, find a good partner and have some kids. Yeah, it's so good. Now, I mean, in context, think back to your first job, okay, whatever it might be. If you made a mistake because you didn't know any better, would your boss beat you? Alright. Your boss might threaten and yell and rant and rave, but, you know, kids just don't know. They don't know anything unless you teach them. So their behaviour, you know, it can be unruly. They can have a will of their own. Shock horror, you know, being a person, an individual. They have certain things that they like and other things they don't like. Now, say your girlfriend washes the dishes wrong, or leaves a magazine laying on the coffee table and you don't like it. You wouldn't start ranting and raving and potentially hit your girlfriend for doing something like that. So why would you do it to a small child? Okay? Stop smacking kids. Stop hitting them. Stop threatening them. Stop yelling at them. Stop screaming at them, swearing at them. It's atrocious. So, children grow, they mature, you have to teach them things so that they can get along with people, you know. You teach them don't hit, but then you hit them. You teach them not to steal, but then you'll take away their toys. You know, if you think about it just a little bit, you'll see the hypocrisy. And kids, while they don't know much, they're not stupid. Okay, they see these things, they hear these things, they pick up on the vibe. Alright? So just stop being an asshole to your kids. Alright? Then as they get a bit older, kids get sent to kindy or preschool, where other people are then teaching your children and instilling ideas and values and ethics, or lack of, into your small child. Okay, so you're at work, you're doing your thing, you know, digging holes or blowing up buildings, whatever it might be. Okay, and then you go and pick up the kid after it's been programmed by other people, and you go home, and then there'll sometimes be a clash between how you are bringing up your children and how they're being taught at these child detention facilities. And this just gets worse as the child gets older. So, you know, by grade 1, you know, you pack them up and you send them off for, what, 6-7 hours a day to sit in a room at a desk, sitting in a chair, listening to things that they don't care about. They can't go in the sun nowadays because apparently the sun's just this mega evil. They can't play freely. They have to eat their lunch in designated zones and designated times. That's just not how kids work, you know, especially boys. It's not as bad for girls, but boys especially suffer under this. Boys like to get out and explore and get dirty and wrestle and climb trees and do all sorts of cool stuff that boys like to do. Some girls do that too. Great. Alright, encourage that. So schools are a negative thing for boys especially. So if you've got boy kids, you know, and they've got a issue at school, a behavioural issue, okay, it's because they're not doing what the teachers are telling them, demanding them, threatening them to do. So, you know, it's a pretty sad state of affairs. And then, you know, if their behaviour's beyond a teacher's control, then, you know, the matter will then go higher and higher, and then you know, there could be behavioural programs that need to be enforced against the child. Sometimes they'll be medicated, so doctors will say, little Johnny there, he doesn't like to sit still too much in class, but here, if we give him this tablet, he'll chill out and be a better student. Okay, so you've got doctors and schools informing parents to give their children drugs. Okay, like, it blows my mind how people can even give their kids these pills, like dexamphetamines. That shit's speed. Okay, you wouldn't give speed to little kids. That's a really, really fucked up thing to do. So if you're out there and you're medicating your children so that they'll behave better in class, kick yourself in the ass, or better still, slap yourself in the face and just wake up to yourself. Alright? That's fucked up. You don't give kids drugs. Okay? Now, if they have a behavioural issue, meaning they don't want to sit still in class for 6 hours a day at a desk on a chair, that they really just want to go out and climb a tree or play in the dirt or play with the cars or read a book or just look at the sky, whatever it might be. Alright? Schools are not good places. So I did a video the other day about teachers should quit their jobs. Alright? So this is about parents today, and let your child be free. Show them things, you know, teach them, you know, this could hurt you, like, you know, a hot kettle or a knife, or, you know, general hazards, right? Teach them that these things are hazards, but give them the freedom that you didn't have, to get out there and just explore the world. Let them grow up, you know, let them find things out, let them play. It breaks my heart when I see a kid get hit. And if you're one of those parents that hits your kids, you're a low piece of shit. Okay? You know, there's campaigns out there, the white ribbon, you know, end domestic violence, end violence against women. Right, fuck that. That's a cop out. End violence in general. All right. So you know, there's a stigma attached to men who hit women. Granted, I agree that it's a shitty thing to do. You don't hit people that you love. You don't threaten people that you love. You just don't do that. Okay? Voting. Voting is violence. You're using a proxy, so using government to enforce your will on your fellow man. And if your fellow man doesn't agree, then the government, being, you know, the police, etc., all the things that are in the system, they're going to use violence, force, coercion, a multitude of different angles of attack against peaceful people, all because they don't want to be slaves to somebody else. So if you're a voter, stop. It's not illegal to not vote. Okay, that's just bullshit. Just stop voting. Stop playing the game. Stop promoting violence. Anyway, it's getting a bit sad. I'm getting a bit morose. But, you know, chin up. Treat your kids with love, respect, and patience. Patience is a very handy tool for a parent. It's not easy, granted, but it is worthwhile. Your children will grow up to love you better. They'll grow up to be more well-adjusted. And they then will share their positive ethics with others. And that way we can make a better world, all through educating the children, being not violent, not being coercive, don't use force, but teach them to defend themselves, to stand up for the truth and what's right. Anyway, peace out, max love, be excellent.